This conference will now be recorded.
Hey everybody, it's Dr. Doug Smith. It is 2:30 on Wednesday, so it is time for our Monday through Thursday 2:30 podcast. And I want to start out today with some words of thank you. I'm always thankful for Alex. None of us would be on this podcast without Alex. And Alex, uh, every day at right before the podcast starts, Alex is there. He never misses. You could set your clock by Alex, and it's just so nice and wonderful to work with someone who takes their job seriously. And I greatly appreciate that. And I'm also wanting to say words of appreciation for you guys out there in our audience, because let me tell you, as I'm writing through this book, and I'm getting through it, and the reason that I'm getting through it is because of you guys. Doing these podcasts Monday through Thursday has forced me to put words together, and I'm finding that the words that I'm putting together are the very words that I've learned to put together here on this podcast. So it was you guys that really helped me write the book, and the prayer, whatever you want to call it, is that the book will be finished by the last week in July. Unbelievably, we're on course. Unbelievably, we're on that timeline. And then Charles is planning on going to Washington D.C. the second or third week in August, and hand delivering a copy of the book to every congressional rep and senator. That's about 700 copies. Um, we're taking this book very seriously. Proceeds from the book will be what fund the the first uh, mass tort. That's what it's called. We're not filing a class action lawsuit. You guys were harmed too much to do a class action lawsuit. With the type of harm that you guys suffered, it's called mass tort. But there's a cost in that, especially running the DNA. That's the expensive part. But I mean, how can you file a mass tort lawsuit for DNA damage without analyzing the DNA? It's just that simple. Um, and so that's the hope, that the proceeds from the book will allow us to get the lawsuits filed. But in going through the lawsuits, I'm going through the lawsuits and going through writing the book, I'm really looking again at the behavior of the CDC and the FDA. And this is what I was working on last night. What you see on the screen in front of you is something that got sent to the CDC back in January of 23. No, actually, it wasn't January. It was July of 23. So it's almost exactly 2 years. Um, and we couldn't have laid it out any better than you see it on the screen in front of you. Okay, let's go through this. You see the little box that says catecholamine toxicity. That's adrenaline toxicity. Okay, in the medical community, we know it as catecholamine. The layperson knows it as adrenaline. So that's adrenaline toxicity. And we know that adrenaline toxicity causes heart attacks, strokes, ruptured aorta, really bad stuff that we classify as catastrophic cardiovascular sequelae. So adrenaline toxicity causes heart attacks and strokes, and we get a fall in U.S. life expectancy. That was our prediction, folks. That was our prediction, and it happened. It came true. Okay, U.S. life expectancy did fall. We had predicted it. I hate being right, but we were right. And we said to the CDC, and you see it right there on the screen in front of you, we said to the CDC, hey, if you guys don't do something, this is what's going to happen. Hey, if you guys don't do something, a whole bunch of people are going to die. In fact, so many people are going to die that the U.S. life expectancy is going to fall for the first time in the history of our country. This went to Dr. Charlotte Kent, editor-in-chief of what's called MMWR, Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report. You got to love that title. That's why we call it MMWR. I remember the first time back in med school, first time I saw MMWR, Morbidity, Mortality Weekly. And I remember thinking to myself, who reads Morbidity and Mortality Weekly? Morbidity, Mortality Weekly Report. Editor-in-chief was Dr. Charlotte Kent. That was the publication that really needed to sound the alarm. That's the purpose of that publication, is to sound the alarm. So what you see on the screen in front of you is what I sent to Dr. Charlotte Kent July 2 years ago. And she read it. She responded and said, I read it. She didn't lift a finger. She basically said, go somewhere else. And a lot of people died. Now, if we're lucky, and the more you pay attention to what I have to say, the more you're going to learn. I love luck. I'll take luck over anything else. Okay, if we're lucky, Friday, my letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi, and I'll share it with everybody on the show once I mail it. Not gonna share it till I mail it. I just don't think that's the right thing to do. But once I mail it, I'll share it with everybody. My letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi, recommending that 3 people from the FDA be considered for criminal negligence. Criminal negligence, not just negligence. Criminal negligence. The reason I'm recommending criminal negligence is because 5 billion people are dead. That's why we're calling the book the FDA genocide. These people responsible for the genocide need to be held accountable, and there's nobody else that's going to hold them accountable but us. We're it. We're it. Nobody else showed up. It's just us. And then Dr. Charlotte Kent will in a separate letter, will be recommended for criminal negligence also because of what you see on the screen right in front of you. We begged them to do something. July of 2023. You know how many hundreds of thousands of people we could have saved if she had done her job? So again, Alex, thank you for everything that you do. You help make this podcast possible. I now have access to a much larger connection to the internet. So in the coming weeks, it's hard for me to take on anything else right now because I'm trying to get this book finished. But in the coming weeks, I will set up a little studio, camera, lighting, nothing fancy, but and we will up our game on these podcasts. Nothing we're going to do about it this week. Next week, I doubt I really do too much about anything else other than what I got on the table right now, other than getting this book finished. But everybody, thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to us. Don't forget to post this podcast on your social media and everybody else's social media. Let's get the word out there. Okay. Be saving up your money to buy these books. The books most likely going to be $20 plus shipping and handling, and you can send the book to anybody you want to send it to. You want to send it to the editor-in-chief of MMWR. You want to send it to somebody at the FDA. You want to send it to the Attorney General. You want to send a copy of the book to your congressional rep or senator, whoever you want to send it to. Alex and I will get that built on the website so you can just buy the book, put in the address you want it shipped to, put in the words, if any. You can do it anonymously, or you can put your name there and you can tell this person exactly what you think. Alex, I'm not exactly sure what software you want to use for that. I was thinking we'd probably use FormStack since we've used it before and it worked pretty well and it seemed to integrate with the website pretty well, but that's a down the road thing. We'll hold here for today. We'll see everybody back tomorrow. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye now.